shows an expenditure requested amount of $7,000, unencumbered account per request $6,000, and then the motion states to increase by 5. So what is the total now?
The total is 5,000. I believe that's the whole operating account has that much in it, and this 5,000 is taken from just that operating account.
So it's still at or below the budget.
Correct.
Any further questions from the council? Any questions from the audience? Hearing none, all those in favor say yes.
Yes.
All those opposed say no. The yeses have it, motion carried. Item 7.3, motion to approve purchase of Hurst Stability Plate Kit lift accessories from Macqueen Emergency in an amount of $3,600 funded through General Fund Repair and Maintenance Account.
Motion.
Support. Motion by Councilwoman Winton, supported by Councilman Renwick. Is there any discussion? Councilman.
Could you give us a description?
Yes, sir. Through the chair, these plates can be used. We have an airbag system if someone's like trapped in the vehicle. We can use the airbag to get them out. But it takes a while to deploy them. These are little discs that can be put on. We can use the jaws of life to just pick up the car or the vehicle with it in a quick manner.
Any further? I'm sorry, Councilman.
So it's the structure that you apply against.
We put it right on the concrete. It's about this big. It's got a little gap in there. You put the jaws in there and just raise up the vehicle for a quick extrication.
That's a base. Okay.
And if I could let you guys know, this was we received a donation from the shooting range and of course this is one of the purchases we made with that donation. That you guys approved a couple months ago.
Any further questions? If not, all those in favor say yes.
Yes.
All those opposed say no. The yeses have it, motion carried. Item 7.4 is a motion to approve purchase from Gorno Ford sole source for a 2023 T250 transit van for the Water Department Customer Service Representative in an amount not to exceed $53,500 funded through Water Transmission and Distribution Capital Outlay Account.
Motion.
Support. Motion by Councilwoman Winton, supported by Councilwoman Rose. Is there any discussion? Hearing none. All those in favor say yes. All those opposed say no. The yeses have it, motion carries. Item 7.5 is a motion to approve an agreement between CBTS, low responsible bidder, and the City of Taylor for the implementation and maintenance of a cloud data center backup system for the City of Taylor for a cost of $62,932 in year 1 and $60,720 in years 2 and 3 for an amount not to exceed $184,372 per the terms of the attached contract funded through IT ARPA Contractual Services.
Motion.
Support. Motion by Councilman Winton, supported by Councilman Johnson. Is there any discussion? Mr. Chair. Councilman.
Could we have an explanation on this, please?
Good evening. Through the chair, so this is an enterprise, as it says, data center backup system. So this is on-site and off-site private cloud. What that means is, just kind of as it sounds, so the data is backed up in our data center, available to us. It's also backed up off-site. When I came into the city, there's a backup system running, but it was only on-site, sitting right next to the servers that it was backing up. So you can imagine if there's a fire, flood, any number of natural disasters, the city, frankly, would be in a really bad position. That system has since failed. I've had an engineer look at it. It's almost end of life. It's out of date. It's failing. My recommendation was to move forward with the solution that the city ultimately needs. Right now, we're doing them manually and kind of moving them around so that way they're not sitting right next to you. This is definitely, as I've said with some other items, it's not a cost item. I would argue this is as or more important than general liability insurance. You can imagine if we had a catastrophe at the data center, the recovery efforts. likes cold weather, nobody likes water. So, cold weather and some power issues cause some issues with some other systems. So having that backup in place is just absolutely critical.
Mr. Chairman. Councilman?
Was this a pre-budgeted item, or is this new because of the situation?
It was not pre-budgeted. There's a number of things that the city needs to do to modernize and get up to speed. Fortunately, we have that ARPA money, so we're able to leverage that.
So this is gonna come out of ARPA?
Yes. And it is a 36-month term, so we will have to have, year 4, 5, and 6, and we'll need to look at where and how we fund that. But I think right now the main focus is where we're at right now, looking at the next 3 years.
How many terabytes of data are we talking about?
So there are, the bid was written for 20 terabytes of data storage, 15 in our VM server side, and then 5 terabytes in our SAN, which is a large storage device.
So 20 terabytes, which are basically the size of a portable device, you pay somebody every day to back up the data and take it to a secondary location.
Yes, and it's also a managed service, so they're going to monitor everything. If there's an issue with something, they're going to address it. There's SLAs in the proposal. There's performance metrics in terms of they don't meet what is our out clause, what do we, not that we want to ultimately get to an out clause, but what are the kickback, that's the wrong word. What are the financial what's the financial burden on them if they don't meet the quality, meet what they're supposed to do? This is a vendor that the city has worked with. If you see, and I don't have it itemized or outlined what page, they work with a number of large cities, the state of Ohio, city of Novi, I recall, is one of them. I think it was the school district. Oakland County, Washtenaw County. So again, this is another team that absolutely knows what they're doing. This is not something unique to the world in terms of having this type of backup. This isn't an overpurchase by any stretch. This is just what we should be doing. There's a number of things that the city needs to modernize on, and that was one of my goals in coming into the city, is to be able to do that for the city, and ultimately the residents, because all this infrastructure affects the residents and the service to the residents.
One concern I would raise to the council, just when we're talking ARPA funds, we won't have those long term. And just in terms of looking at this, the cost, were there multiple bids, or is this?
So we received 3 bids. This is, as stated, the lowest responsible bid. You're absolutely right. What is sustainability? But we absolutely need to look at that. I think working with the administration, how do we plan for year 4, 5 through 10, frankly. And we don't know what backup's going to look like 4 or 5 years from now. As with technology, these things continue to change. But I think this is a line item that's probably not going to go away for a long time.
It just appears that in terms of 20 terabytes is not a lot of data. And they're talking about a minimum of 50 megabits per second in terms of connection, which is rather low. I understand having backup at City Hall, right next to City Hall, but of course we have a number of different sites that we have the connection.
So one of the things with that is this provides immutability, which essentially protects from ransomware. So municipalities, I was just Googling earlier because I wanted a statistic. I think it was 200 entities were hit with ransomware last year. And the cost when you experience something like that is in the millions.
Any further discussion from the council? Councilwoman?
So, I do have the list of the cities, and there's quite a few, so that use this service. Are we talking, apples to apples, are they using this something else?
So
or-
those are customers, it's not necessarily this is